Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to Martinsville Speedway for race number 3 of the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series, presented by Garrett Smithley Racing. Joining me, Andy Kessler, topside in the LSRTV booth, is Gabriel Wood, and as always, producer Cisco Scaramuza is down in the production trailer getting the picture to you, and we welcome you all here live on LSRTV and iRacing Live. Gabe, we're in for a treat tonight. I think the trucks in Martinsville mix pretty well. And when you throw in this talented bunch of drivers we have in the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series, we're looking in for a real treat here tonight. Real tight. They call this place the paperclip, and they do that for a reason, just because of this unique shape of this raceway. A half a mile speedway, 150 laps here tonight. Only 75 miles. It doesn't seem like much compared to the other races we do, but it can actually take quite a bit of time here at this racetrack. Real tight quarters. We're expecting a lot of side-by-side racing and maybe a little bumping and grinding here tonight.
Yeah, there are a lot of drivers in the field tonight, and they know how to drive this racetrack, and they know how to drive it well, Andy. You know, like you said, this is basically a perfect racetrack for these trucks. It's, you may see these guys shifting from third to fourth if they can get it, coming off the corners, and then just slamming it back down. That's going to be what they look for. Look at the front of these cars, or these trucks. As soon as these guys hop on the brakes, they have the suspension. The car is so high up. When they hit those brakes, the car is going to duck down. And it's going to be an awesome sight. From the past few weeks, we've had a super speedway and a 1.5 mile. Now we're going to be at a short track for the first time this year.
Yeah, that's all the beating and banging and rubbing fenders. And we'll be lucky to not see one single truck out here without a scratch on it here when this thing's all said and done. And we'll take a look, though, at last week's results here when we raced at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And it was actually quite a great race we had last week, and a lot of different leaders, a lot of different lead changes, a whole bunch of races, side-by-side, three-wide action. And we saw Alex Monteferrante come up with the victory, his first on the season. Mitchell Hunt. I'm looking at the standings. Mitchell Hunt came up with the victory last week, and that, of course, was his first win of the season. And it was a good race. He didn't lead all the laps because we saw Chase Cabry, who finished in the 4th spot, really kind of dominate that race. But when it came down to it at the end, tires just weren't enough for him, and he was able to at least maintain the top 5. But Mitchell Hunt, Adam Gilliland, Dustin Lingert, Chase Cabry, and, of course, Alex Monteferrante were the top 5 finishers. And with that race, that top 5 put Alex Monteferrante in the top spot for the standings, just 5 above Bentley Glazer. But you look down the standings, and you can just see how close it is. But for those guys sitting back there in 10th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and beyond, you got to start one. These guys, it's only a 12-race season. These guys got to start picking it up pretty quick here. They don't want to fall back too quickly.
Yeah, I believe it's, a 12-race schedule. These guys, they got to get the work done, Right now, with only 2 races in the schedule so far that have been completed, yeah, it's a lot of points, maybe a 30-point gap. But you have time to make it up, especially here at Martinsville and later in the schedule at Five Flags. It's very, crash-frequent racetracks. The points leader can get taken out at any moment, racing for the lead or anything, and it's a completely different championship. So you're just going to have to wait and see. If you're behind right now, stay in it. Just keep racing your heart out, and you never know, you could be standing in championship victory lane at the end of the year.
And this is one of those racetracks, along with the super speedways, that they typically call, quote, a wild card type of race or a wild card type of scenario. And for that reason, just there, I mean, you could be leading laps here, get into an accident, fall back to the back of the pack, and just never really make your way back up. So it's a good place to either gain a lot of points or lose a lot of points. So it's really up to, circumstances, most of them out of your control in a race like this one. So for a lot of these guys, track position is going to be huge here. We might see some guys take some gamble with 2 tires or not just to get that track position, because just being up front and being leading, that's exactly what you want to do. So it's going to be awesome to see here tonight. So far on the board as trucks try to get through their qualifying session, just about done with that right now, 6 minutes into it. And so far on the pole, the 56 of Dustin Lingert. He's trying to get it done right now, just barely right now, over the 44 of Logan Clampert. And for Dustin Langert, fourth in points right now, 17 back. This is definitely what he needs to start on the pole and get himself some points, some laps led, get those bonus points, and that'll help him tremendously throughout or for the remainder races of this season. With that said, though, let's send it down trackside for tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
We'd like to thank Jaden Berkey for that beautiful rendition of tonight's national anthem. And with that said, qualifying getting ready to get closed here tonight. Just a couple more trucks left to go here. A few of them deciding to possibly take a provisional, start in the back, which actually would probably, for a lot of guys, be a good thing to avoid the carnage that could be up towards the front of the field or in the middle of the pack here early on in this race. We'll take a quick peek into some of the races coming up on the schedule here. Of course, next week we'll be heading to Kansas Speedway, a pretty cool 1.5 mile speedway, a little different than most of the other ones. Kansas usually puts on a pretty good show, a unique 1.5 miles, a little less banking in those corners, allows these drivers a little more handling that they'll have to do. It'll slide up a little bit more in those corners, so we'll keep an eye on that one next week. That should be a fun one. And then, of course, right after that, a week after, here at the end of March, we'll have Dover on the schedule. And Dover, always a fun place to watch these trucks get things done. Charlotte, Texas, Iowa, to continue on as we go through into the month of April. But lots of racing set on the docket here for the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series. And it looks like qualifying just about rounding up. Gabe, we talk about this place with as far as track position and pit stops and a unique pit road. It's so slow. You're going 35 miles an hour down this place. And if you got a pit stall that's on the turn 1 and 2 area, it's so hard to judge getting into your box. That could be a real thing we need to watch here tonight as well.
Yeah, it's so hard to get in there because it's about the same radius as the corner, but, you know, it's so condensed. Your pit stall is at an angle, so yeah, Andy, it's going to be very difficult, even for the guys entering pit road. I mean, you're going to have to start off the line. There's no real access road off and on, so it's going to be if we get green flag pit stop, it's going to be a back and forth cycle all night with guys trying to get on the racetrack and getting off.
It absolutely will be, but the clock has struck zero as far as qualifying is concerned. That means we're getting set to get battle here for 150 laps at Martinsville Speedway. Let's take a look at your LSRTV starting lineup, and as they sit on the pole for the number 56, that's Dustin Linger with a time of a 20.376. Just as outside on the front row, the 44, the Logan Clampett. Row number 2 is going to be made up of a couple Peak Antifreeze Series drivers. Adam Gilliland in the 8 on the inside, Timmy Hill in the number 4 truck to the outside. Row number 3, Alan Elwood, Justin Fuller, Justin Weaver in the 38 will start 7th. 8th goes to the 39 of Chase Cabry. Byron Daly will start 9th tonight. 10th will be the 10 of Richard Beasley. Daniel Eberhardt making his first ever ASCORS Truck Series start. He's going to roll off in that 11th spot. 12th will be the 55 of Brian Schoenberg. Parker Kligerman, NASCAR Camping World Truck Series driver in the 07, will roll off in that 13th spot. 14th goes to last week's winner in the 71. That's Mitchell Hunt. 15th on the starting grid tonight, the 66 of David Krikorian. Alex Monteferrante will be outside of row number 8 in that 97. E.J. O'Rourke in the 41 starts 17th. 18th goes to Tommy Ryan. 19th is Doy Woods. 20th is Davey Scoville. And now, as the rest go across the bottom of your screen there, Gabe, we get set to do this. I mean, these guys we're going to see, obviously, in these opening laps, fighting for that bottom lane. That bottom lane is the place to be. It's the preferred lane. That top side does not get it done unless you're an extremely fast lead lap car and you're trying to get around some lap cars. That might be the only time. It's going to be real tough for any of these guys to really make that outside line work. Down on that curb, that's the place to be here tonight.
Yeah, and not only for the lead lap guys staying off of that outside lane, think about the lap down cars. They get stuck up there. They're going to be stuck up there for basically the entire race, just trying to let everybody by, and that's just going to compound and pretty much snowball your whole race into just a situation you really don't want to be in. So it's going to be important to stay on the lead lap, or at least just try and stay in front of the leaders so you don't have to let them by.
It absolutely is. You're going to see some of these top qualifiers, even Logan Clampett on the outside, Timmy Hill in the four truck. You're going to see these guys struggling during these opening laps to get down to the bottom. The bottom is the place to be. We'll see how quickly, or if anybody here gives them a break, lets them get down to the bottom. Some of the other notables there, Chase Cabry, real short track racer when it comes to iRacing, loves the short track, and in real race, he loves the short track. So look for that 39 truck to be pretty stout here this evening. But the field is going to come down the back straightaway here. You're going to see the pace car dive to pit road rather early, and it takes a little while for these trucks at that pace speed of 40 miles an hour to come around off of turn number 4, then ultimately wait for that green flag to drop here as they exit turn number 4. The 56, Dustin Langert, he's going to lead the way now as the green flag is in the air, and we're racing here at Martinsville.
Going into turns 1 and 2, look at everybody diving down, just trying to get down to the bottom of the racetrack. In fact, Timmy Hill's finally going to find a place behind the 8 of Alan Gilliland. It looks like the top 5 settled it out. It looks like we got one car on the wall. Back here in the back of the pack, couldn't see who it was, but able to just scrape along and get his car collected. We're complete lap 156. Dustin Lingert's going to lead the first lap of this race. Logan Clampett, he's not having any of it because he's right there on that back bumper.
Yeah, you see them all. You're going to see a lot of guys on the back bumper all night long, and these guys just pretty much running in a line. And it takes a lot to pass. It's real hard to pass in a place like this. You see a lot of bump and runs maybe going into the corners with these drivers trying to do that. We see a battle for that 10th spot right now. Daniel Eberhardt has it. He's on the outside. He's trying to find a way. He's hanging tough on the outside. That's our first side-by-side battle now as they go back into turn number 3. That's the 55 of Brian Schoenberg to the inside. I'll tell you, that 90s, he's burning his stuff there trying to keep that outside line. It looks like he'll be able to drop down, not quite here, back into turn number 1. So Daniel Eberhardt continuing to be stuck on that outside right now and not going to get any bit of a break right there as the 07 of Parker Kligerman says, I don't think so. I'm going to stick it down in there too. He's going to follow Schoenberg right on through, and that's going to move him up another spot as he battles Eberhardt for that 11th spot. Eberhardt actually going to clear him right there, but he's going to push up the racetrack. That's a tough thing to do, man. It's tough to get down to the bottom when you're not up there or down there.
Andy, I'm looking at the sponsor on that 90. Eberhardt, look at it. Your business here, become a sponsor. That's a driver with a sense of humor and financial needs some financial aid on that truck. But yeah, I'm surprised he's able to hold that outside lane. But look at Kligerman and look at Eberhardt. The front bumper on the 07 of Kligerman, it is destroyed, and rear bumper of the 90 is destroyed as 07 is going to get around. 97 is going to duck to the inside of the 90 of Daniel Eberhardt. These cars already getting beat up.
Yeah, like I said, it's not going to be long, and I'd be very shocked, even if you're the leader, to not have some sort of dent or ding or somewhere on that race truck by the time this thing's all said and done. Working lap number 7 right now. Your leader, Dustin Lingard, he's been able to hold on to that spot since the drop of the green flag, and like I said, it's one of these tough places to pass. You almost have to, if you're not going to move the guy, you got to wait for him to have a mistake and maybe hit the curb hop it, push up the racetrack. But as long as they can really maintain a decent speed and hold that bottom lane, it makes it real tough to pass.
Yeah, and even if you try and use that bumper, you're gonna have to watch out, because iRacing, it makes some mistakes sometimes with how the server thinks where your car is, and maybe if you're a foot away from somebody, you may end up just spinning them just because you didn't think, or the server doesn't think that you're right on his back bumper. So, they're gonna have to watch out for that. There's always that variable.
Oh yeah, we call that net code, the lovely net code that comes out in iRacing. And hey, it's one of those things we got to deal with, right? And everybody does. You never know when it's going to linger. It's ugly head, but a lot of times we see it more times than not when you're side by side racing on a 1.5-mile speedway and no contact at all is made visually, but iRacing thinks you did. So top four though, they've pulled away right now from that fifth spot. Chase Cabry, once he was able to get down to that bottom side. He's struggling right now to catch back up to these guys. This is also one of those tracks, too, Gabe, where we try over and over and over. It's a lot of logging laps. It's one of those places where, you bide your time. You try to, get every position you possibly can. But it's one of those, too, that sometimes you just got to settle and ride where you're at right now. And for Logan Clampett, I think that's pretty much the name of the game as of right now. Last time through 3 and 4, though, that 56 pushed up just a bit. The problem was Logan wasn't quite to his back bumper, couldn't take advantage of it now, but those top four are doing a pretty good job right now as Chase Cabry still trying to chase those top four as they continue to lead the way here into turn one.
Yeah, if you get stuck behind somebody, it's going to get pretty monotonous just riding like the 44 Logan Clampett's doing right now behind the 56. It's just, you get in that rhythm. If you're riding with somebody, just on the gas, brake, you just get into a rhythm because the front straightaway is basically the same thing as the back straightaway, and it's just kind of a pattern that you do, and any kind of disruption in that could really mess up your run there for a few laps, and that could give the chance for somebody to skip away. 6, he kind of started backing up his corners. He's going to force the 44 to kind of change the way he runs the racetrack, and that could gain him a couple, not a couple seconds. That would be amazing, but a couple of tenths at Martinsville. That's huge.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And you talk about being the guy in front of another. I mean, you really dictate the guy behind you's racing line. And like I said, if you're backing the corners way off, that's going to make the guy behind you back his corners off too. So being a leader, being anybody that's out in front of another driver really dictates how you run your line right now. And we can see that right now as the top four still run basically as they were since the drop of the green flag. And Chase Cabry, pretty much the only one, started 8th. Now he finds himself into that 5th spot. You look a little further back, though, as we look on board with Logan Clampett, actually. You can see him trying to chase down that 56 truck and just not quite having what it has now. It looks like the 56 of Lingert actually starting to pull away just a bit down the straightaway. So Dustin Lingert, you talked about it, Gabe, a rhythm. It's really a rhythm-based track. You really, like you said, you get in that zone where you're on the throttle, you're off the throttle. You have to really hold it through the center, then you can get back on the throttle. So it's one of those places where you do get into that rhythm, and a lot of cautions tend to break up that rhythm, which can really, mess up your race or get you into that groove. So right now, so far, it's been clean and green for 18 laps. A good start for all these guys right now, and watching a couple battles a little further back in the 51 truck. Justin Fuller there sitting in that 6th spot. He's got 2 other trucks right behind him. That's Byron Daly in the 60 Allen Elwood in the 5 truck, and then you go a little bit further back, and Brian Schoenberg has made up another spot here as he's moved up into the 9th spot. So continuing to climb his way up, but it's one of those places you start in the front. It takes you a little while to pick them off one by one as you go. So battles all around the racetrack. Everybody knows the tail. Some pretty big groups throughout the field, even when you look back in about 15th, 16th place there on back there with the 99 of Tommy Ryan right now making his way around Doy Woods. Doy Woods actually went up the racetrack. It looked like he gave him that spot now. Didn't want to give up 2 spots there, and he puts E.J. O'Rourke back in line right there in the 19th spot. But you see it all over the racetrack right now. And another place, or another thing you find a lot at Martinsville, is how quickly the leaders catch up to that tail end of the pack.
Oh yeah, I mean they've already got looks like They've got him in sight. I mean, maybe one corner, turns 3 and 4, just maybe one corner. It's that fast. We're on lap 22. But going back to the, guys like Schoenberg and Parker Kligerman making up their positions, you're not going to see that, guy started 33rd, now he's running 10th and, 50 laps. It's just going to be, a slow climb. If somebody's got that good of a car, you'll see it as we got some smoke up here. Looks like the 72, I believe. He was running up high, so that looks like the 72 of Lewis Calderon. He was up high on the racetrack, could have been the one who produced that smoke.
Yeah, I think he got into driver right there. I think it was trying to figure out who he was. But anyway, he made a little contact right there, and now they're trying to sort it all out. But you see the leader already has caught up to lap traffic, trying to work his way around some of them. He's already put a couple trucks down a lap right now. John Wilco in the 62 and Lewis Calderon in the 72. Now a lap down, and you continue. Lap traffic typically comes into play here. A lot of times drivers will use them as a pick to try to take that advantage. And we saw just moments ago before he got to lap traffic, at 56 had a pretty, and we call it a comfortable lead. It was about 3 or 4 truck lengths, and now you can see those top 4 all accordion back up. And this is where you can really see somebody try to make a pass. And that 44 Logan Clampett, this might be one of his opportunities to get that done.
Yeah, I mean, look how much they, caught up to the 56. They were already on his back bumper, but now he's right on top of him with the 18. Just kind of held his line there at 1 and 2, and he just absolutely got to his back bumper. That 44, he's got a fast car. I just don't think he's got the car to pass the 56 right now. Whether the 56 is going to burn up his tires at some point in this long, long run, and the 44 is going to end up, just having the better tires and catch him. That's to be seen. But 56, he's got the car to beat so far, although that 44 hasn't used that bumper yet, and that's the real big factor.
Yeah, it is, but you can see actually how they got away from the lap traffic, and the Langer was actually able to pull away on the straightaway. So he's still pretty much got that rhythm down. It throws it all off, like you said, once you get up to these lap trucks, and you can see him right now trying to put that 13 truck down a lap. That's Mason Baker in that 13 machine, and they'll be able to get around him before he gets into turn number 3 there. Top 4 actually going to clear him pretty well right there. So look for that 13 now, Mason Baker, to get back in line. He'll have to fight Rich Jetty now for the first truck down a lap. That's in the 7 truck right there, but a little bit of green in front of these drivers right now, and they got a little bit of racetrack just ahead of them before they get to the 16 of Alan Cryer and working lap number 29, or make that 30 right now. We're going to complete lap number 30 this time by. So 30 laps already. I mean, the laps start ticking by, especially when you get into green. As you see Logan Clampett get on the back bumper, might have gave him a little shot there getting into turn number 1. So it looks like that 44 maybe had saved a little bit of his tires now as they run here. And we're 30 laps into this. You can see him really close the gap there and get into the back of Dustin Linger there right in the center of the corner. So maybe the 56 might have worn out some tires there. Still, you can see it there. All three of the top 3 guys now starting to beat fenders.
Look at that hand movement on the 44's 80. Adam Gillen, he's going for it. He's going for the second position. Look at that oversteer, just the correction. Just trying to pass somebody. That's how out of control these guys are, but they're in control at the same time. And here we go side by side. This should be an easy pass for the 8. Adam Gillen, that Jegs Toyota, but 44, that Peak truck, and he's making it hard on him. And look at Timmy Hill right behind in that 4 truck. He's looking to pounce on the 44 as soon as he gets clear.
Absolutely. Once that bottom lane gets open like that, you'll see the drivers really try to close the gap there. And right now, Clampett gets into the wall there off turn number 4. It's going to slow him down a bit, but not enough for Adam Gillen to clear him there off or down into turn number 1. They're going to still battle side by side. It's a pretty good battle right now for that second spot. And I'll give 44 a lot of credit right now for hanging on to that spot, or at least in a fight for it right now on the outside lane. And I think the only thing that's keeping him right now is the 8 truck keeps getting loose off the corner.
Yeah, that's going to destroy both their tires. I mean, not destroyed, but the 44 is having to work a lot harder. And look at that. He defends his position on the outside, Andy. That's amazing. I know the 8 was getting loose there on the bottom, but still, it's Martinsville, and he was able to keep it on the top side of the racetrack and keep it up there. And that 8 tried to put the bumper to him in turns 3 and 4, but it just didn't happen. And the 44 is going to go back after the 56 if he can, and looks like he is.
It looks like he might be able to chase him back down here, but all that bumping he was doing with the leader of Langer allowed the 8 of Gilliland to actually open up that inside lane, get a pretty decent run, and get him side by side for that second spot. But like you said, short-lived as Logan Clampett able to hang on to that spot using the outside lane. So that's a fun thing to watch here over the course of tonight to get that done. Mitchell Hunt now in the process of trying to make up some spots, and he already made up one. He got around Parker Kligerman in the 07. That puts him now up into that 10th spot now on the racetrack as those guys work around a couple lap trucks right now, trying to get around them, trying to get themselves back up into contention. But Schoenberg and Mitchell Hunt right now have actually caught up to Alan Elwood in that 5. They were some 10, 12 truck lengths back, probably about 10 or 15 laps ago. And they've finally been able to start to catch up to that 5 truck, probably due to some of the lap traffic that they've been having to race around at the moment. So far, though, Dustin Lingard putting on a show, putting on a clinic now as he pulls out by about 3 truck lengths as they head back into turn number 3. So once they've cleared the lap traffic, he's been able to pull back out in front.
Looks like he gets into the wall there coming off of 4 down the straightaway. That's going to eat into his time just a little bit. 16, he's the next car to go 1 lap down. That looks like that is that's 16 to Alan Cryer, and that watermelon machine, a little homage to Ross Chastain. Excuse me. That 8, Adam Gillen, he's still trying to get around that 44 of Logan Clampett. He's just getting closer and closer with that back bumper, but he just can't get there. Somebody who is getting there, look at the 44. He's up to the back bumper of Dustin Lingard. He's going to try that move again, and hopefully the 8's not going to be there to spoil the party.
Yeah, you can see some damage on the back bumper of that 56 truck right now, and all product of getting a little bit of beating and banging from the 44 at Logan Clampett now. As they head back turn number 1, they'll make their way around that 16 truck. Opens the door just a little bit. Looked like the 44 was going to try to stick his nose in there. Door was shut pretty quickly right there by Dustin Lingard. Continues to lead back into 3 and 4. We're going to work in lap number 43 this time by. 42 are complete here at Martinsville Speedway. 150 laps on the docket for the night. We're going to take a moment, step aside. You're watching the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing. Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway. We got a lot of action going out on the racetrack right now. Some 3-wide action for that top spot, or for that second spot, I should say, is Adam Gillen able to get underneath 44 Logan Clampett right there heading into turn number 1. Using the lap traffic, that 3 truck, making it tough for the leaders to get by. Nothing says in the rule book there that these guys have to move over and get out of the way. But it's almost one of those unwritten rules of racing. As you can see, the 44 really doing a great job holding that outside. He's actually going to, for a second there, look for the race lead on the outside lane. Not going to be able to make it happen. Whoa, a little contact with the aid of Adam Gilliland. That's going to set these guys back single file. Right now, Logan Clampett actually to the high side just a bit, leaving that bottom lane open. Not going to be able to put that 8 truck in there just quite yet. They come up on some more lap traffic here. We're working 50 laps complete here. We've been green since the start. You're watching, of course, the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. And it's been a pretty eventful race. Typically, we come to Martinsville, Gabe, we don't see a nice 50-lap run for the beginning of the race. And that just shows you the talent level here at the SegPay Truck Series.
Yeah, third of the way through the race. The leaders have been very very patient with the lap cars, and I think that's getting ready to wear out with 13 almost loops in front of the leaders, or 19, excuse me. He's going to get out of the way for the leaders side by side with Adam Gilliland. Andy, I can't believe I'm saying this. The first time the 56 Dustin Linger was side by side with somebody, except for the beginning of the race, was with the 44 on the outside. So that just shows 56 has just been so hard to pass here for the first third of the race.
Yeah, that's why we say track position, obviously, at Martinsville is so precious. It takes a lot to get it, and it takes a lot to keep it. So, so far, so good. I mean, we see a lot of times you'll lose the track position when you go down pit road. Pit road, pit stops, green flag or under caution are very, very important because a lot of times they can dictate a spot or two that you can make up on the racetrack. Let's look at Logan Clampett. He's had enough. He just pushed that 56 of Linger right out of the way into turn number 4. And look at that. We got a new race leader at that lap right there. And looks like the 56 not done getting pushed around right now as Adam Gilliland gives him a shot there into turn number 1. And they're going to single file now, but it looks like Linger wasn't too happy with that as he gets back on the back bumper. He's going to push the 8 truck up now, and they're battling 3 wide for second.
Timmy Hill goes to the inside of the 56 of Linger. So in 2 laps, 56 of Linger goes from the lead to 4th. Wow. And that little retaliation move on the 8 really doesn't work out for him, and doesn't work out for the rest of the field because that 44 Clampett just kind of scooted away for a minute. But it's like the 8 of Alan Gilliland's like he's catching him again, as looks like the ticker is broken, we're hearing, but we're going to get that up for you in just a second. But these guys racing very hard. Timmy Hill up to the 3rd position, so he's going to go after Gilliland. Just how quickly things can change, and how quickly you can go to the back if you're stuck on the outside, Andy. That 56 of Linger has been one of the fastest cars today, and went to the outside and lost 3 positions in a matter of a lap.
Yeah, he absolutely did. But you know what? If he didn't get that bump from the 44, we might still be seeing that 56 leading the way right now. So a lot of times that's what you got to do to get around people. And, it's nothing personal. It's just one of them things and a product of racing at this racetrack. And that's exactly what we saw there. That was a pretty good bump and run, you'll call it there, from Logan Clampett. It gives him the race lead and allows him to start ticking away some laps led, possibly get some extra bonus points here as this thing goes on. And these guys right now, this time by, going to work on lap number 60 as we look on board now from the 44 back. And we got a caution on the speedway. Our first one of the night here on lap number 60. Big pileup in turn number 1, and like the 18's involved in the 23. A whole bunch of trucks right there in turn number 1 and 2. And we got our first caution of the night right here. Just a product of some short track racing, and pit road's open just like that quick. Back of the field doesn't even get a chance to caught up to the end of the pack, and pit road is open, and everybody heading down pit road. The top 3, pretty good gap back to that 4th spot of the 56 of Dustin Linger, and they're going to come down pit road. And strategy at this point, we're 60 laps into a run. It's got to be 4 tires of fuel for our leaders.
Oh yeah, it's got to be. Back to that wreck, that caution right there. Looks like the 66 of Wilco just spun it. He was trying to get out of the way of some guys and just kind of spun it there on the outside lane, and it just log jammed. Looks like JD Laird got caught up in that too. I believe that was the 72 also got caught in it. Just gonna have to check that again. Yes, the 72. But yet, it's just a log jam. It's almost like the backstretch at Dover. Once one car spins it, it basically clogs up the entire field.
Oh, it absolutely does. This racetrack obviously very narrow. We talked about the racing groove is very narrow as well, but once you get one or two trucks around in the corner, it really makes it tough for anybody else to really get by. And it happens so quickly here too. It's a real flat racetrack, but yet the spins happen so quickly in front of you, and you can really catch up onto them rather quickly when they happen in front of you. So it's very important to have a really good spotter up there up on top of the grandstands, watching things for you and keeping you abreast of what's going on all around this racetrack, this little half-mile paperclip. And it's such a historic track when you talk about NASCAR racing, and it's just one of them places you either love or hate. It's similar to a Bristol. You either love racing there or you hate it. And a lot of these guys, it's fun. It's fun to race when you have a good car and you can keep that thing down on the bottom. But if you're struggling handling wise and you cannot, it makes for a long, long race.
Yeah, if you're the guys up front, looking Clampett, Adam Gilliland, Linger, Timmy Hill, you love the race. And if you're guys in the midfield, you can take it or leave it. And if you're the guys in the back half of the top 30, top 20, you absolutely hate it.
We see the 39 actually after that pit stop has made it up to the 4th spot right now. So give him a couple spots on that caution there. The field's going to get doubled up here for this restart. Might have been a little gamemanship there by the 4 of Timmy Hill. He might have purposely let that 39 go, just knowing he'd get the bottom lane. So we'll see that by a lot of the drivers too as well. As the pace car hits pit road, we'll get set to get underway. 64 will be complete. As they exit turn number 4, the green flag goes back in the air. Pretty good jump on the outside and by the 44 of Logan Clampett. He's going to take that top spot now. He's going to clear it. The battle for second now heats up. Side by side off of turn number 2. That 56, Dustin Linger, trying to get back up to the top spot.
There's that bumper again. Can he save it? 44 hangs on to it. Oh, and Alan Gilliland gets spun by Timmy Hill.
Wow, and that does bring out our second caution of the night. But that was a little retaliation for that move that the 44 did to get the lead to begin with. So that 56 was looking for a little redemption there. He saw the opportunity, he took it. As you see the replay up on your screen right there, and those guys up front pretty much saved it. But then when you start getting back, it looked like the 8 got loose off the corner and kind of had to chase it. And when he did, he went down the racetrack just a bit, and the 4 truck was there. He ended up getting spun around. A little bit of damage to that rear end, but lucky enough, none of the rest of the field really piled into it there. So some damage to the front of the 4 truck, though. We'll keep an eye on that in the 51 truck. You can see pretty much everybody getting some damage on there. Cleanest one of the bunch up in the front there. Looks like that 39 of Chase Cabry so far has been minding his business here and finds himself now in the 3rd spot, which on this ensuing restart will actually be a good spot for him. He'll be on the bottom.
Yeah, it looks like the only damaged spot is that that left front fender, and that could just been for some minor contact, Andy. But going back to that 56 and the 44, I really don't agree with what he did. Yes, it's Martinsville. You're going to get bumped going for the lead. That's not really a place to retaliate somebody, especially in front of the field. On a restart, I mean, that caught up a lot of guys who just were not involved, and I think that was just kind of uncalled for.
Well, hey, everyone's. I love it. I love it because I'm not in the truck. I love it because I'm not in the truck and I'm not the one getting bumped out of the way. So these guys can do it all they want for the race lead all night. I'll enjoy it.
It's gonna be a long day for Evan Pasoko, the pace car driver.
Yeah, there you go. Gonna get more laps led, it looks like. All right, working our second caution of the night there at Adam Gilliland. You just saw him come off the pit lane right there, just ahead of the pace car, keeps him on the lead lap. It's going to put him way back in the field though. Almost the last truck, 25th spot right now is where it's showing him on the racetrack. So it looks like we might get the 2 to go this time by. Logan Clampett going to have to restart on that outside. Again, he was able to get the 2nd spot, so it all dictates how quickly Chase Cabry in that 2nd spot on the inside lane can really get going if he can take that 2nd spot away from Logan Clampett. But we'll keep an eye on our front two guys that will be leading this field back to the green flag. They've already twice now have pushed each other, taken turns pushing each other out of the way to get the race lead. So Dustin Lingert right now, he'll show the way as the pace car looks to pit road, and Dustin Lingert's going to lead him back to the green flag. Logan Clampett right there to his outside as they work their way off of turn number 4. Green flag is back in the air, and now it's a drag race to turn number 1.
Big stack up back in the pack, Andy.
Yeah, big stack up. You're going to see a lot of that over the course of the night. Really an accordion effect is what tends to happen here at Martinsville. Some guys looking for trying to anticipate the start. They end up getting into and almost a crossover move by Logan Clampett. But look at the 51 to the outside, Justin Fuller trying to take advantage of that on the outside right now. He's battling side by side with Logan Clampett for that second spot as they race their way off of turn number 2. Back into 3, 2 rows, 2 wide. Right there for battling for the top 5 positions right now. Timmy Hill on the bottom side now, trying to work his way around Chase Cabry. He's going to get it done right there for that 4th spot. Battle for second still continues to move on. Here, a small hole there for the 51 and Justin Fuller to jump in. He will. Now the top 6, 7, 8 guys now single file. Looks like Timmy Hill might have grazed the wall there off of turn number 2. Chase Cabry, give him a little bump there. Going to give him a little tap. Try to get that spot. He does. He's going to make his way to the inside now. That is for that 4th spot.
From Schoenberg, filling that hole in that 55. Go the 4. He's going to lose it. He's going to try to get the run off the corner, and he's just going to lose a couple more positions, 55, 71, and the 60. He's going to go by, and here comes the 60, Byron Daly's teammate of the 07, Parker Kligerman. He's trying to make it in. He's trying to get on the inside of the 4, but that 4, he's battling hard. Looks like Schoenberg, the 55, to the inside of Chase Cabry in that 59. So Schoenberg's on his way up to the front, starting in the 12th position, 75, 76.
It took him that much. Oh, we got contact. Teammates, the 07 of Kligerman ended up getting in the back of Byron Daly. Looks like a little bit of checkup to get those guys there. We've reached the halfway point here at Martinsville. 150 laps scheduled in the event. We're at lap number 75 right now. We're going to take a look for the full field rundown, an iRacing full field rundown, and I think I'll be doing it by myself here as we look to set to do that. Obviously, our Midway race break is sponsored by iRacing. It's the leader in motorsports simulation and the official sim racing partner of NASCAR. Right now, as they run, Dustin Lingert is your leader. Logan Clampett runs 2nd. 3rd is Justin Fuller. Brian Schoenberg is 4th. 5th goes to Mitchell Hunt. Chase Cabry is in that 6th spot. 7th right now is Timmy Hill. Byron Daly runs 8th. 9th is Parker Kligerman, and Daniel Eberhardt sits 20th or 10th. Uh, 11th right now, Alex Monteferrante. Davey Scoville sits 12th. 13th is Tommy Ryan. Alan Elwood is 14th. 15th is Bentley Glazer. Justin Weaver is 16th. 17th is David Krikorian. Leighton Sybil is 18th. 19th is Doy Woods. 20th is Chad Coleman. E.J. O'Rourke is 21st. 22nd is J.D. Laird. Adam Gilliland is 23rd. 24th is Tyler Dalton. Stephen O'Rourke is 25th. 26th right now is Rich Jetty. Alan Cryer is 27th. The last truck on the lead lap. 28th, Richard Beasley. Scott Mitten is 29th. 30th is Paul Cooper. 31st, 5 laps down, that's Louis Calderon. John Wilco is 8 laps down, and Mason Baker has pulled it behind the wall. He is 38 laps down in that 33rd spot. Back up front, though, the 56, Dustin Langer. He had a pretty sizable lead just before we started doing that. And the 44 of Logan Clampett has closed the gap, and we look like a little further back. Pretty good battle going on right around that 10th spot there. Byron Daly, the 07 of Parker Kligerman, going at it right there with Daniel Eberhardt as well. Eberhardt doing a good job up to that 10th spot here in his first ever ASCORS Truck Series race. So he's doing a pretty good job hanging into it. He started 11th on the day, so a good qualifying effort gives him an opportunity to get a decent finish here tonight. as they run right now. Pretty good battle with Brian Schoenberg right now in that 4 spot. He's got the 71, Mitchell Hunt. Mitchell Hunt, last week's winner at Atlanta, looking to gain some more points on the rest of the field here as he currently runs in that 5th spot. Timmy Hill trying to get around him. A lot of damage to the front end of that 4 truck. He's been in through a lot here over the last probably 20 laps or so of this race. Pretty good battle, though. Up front is starting to close back together as the top 2 start to pull away. The 51 of Justin Fuller just got loose off turn number 4. That's going to allow these front 2 to pull away a little bit more there, Gabe. But it's two guys that probably have the most in it against each other here tonight. Dustin Linger, again, up to the front, leading some more laps, and Logan Clampett trying to close in.
Yeah, if the 44 can get to that back bumper again, I'd be interested to see what happens, because 56 almost ended his race, but 44 Logan Clampett did a good job hanging on to it. And, we're getting toward 100 laps into this race, Andy. That's when you're really going to start seeing retaliation and the aggressive driving show up.
Absolutely, because that's when it's go time, and that's when it's time to go. And these guys, this point in the race, though, I mean, they still have over 63 laps left to go here when they come back to the line here. So there's still a lot of racing left to go here. So if I was the 44, I wouldn't just quite make that move yet. You kind of want to do it with about 2 or 3 to go so that guy cannot catch back up to you. So it looks like these guys might have one more pit stop here, pending any more cautions over the course of this race. But we'll see. We'll have to see what happens, obviously, as that goes along. Justin Fuller still able to hold on to that 3rd spot, even though he got into the wall, but he's brought in some company now as he's got 4 trucks right behind him, breathing down his neck, trying to get his spot away from him. Right now he runs in that 3rd spot. Schoenberg, great job. He said it just moments ago, started in that 12th spot, pretty much the biggest mover of the race so far, up 8 spots, along with Mitchell Hunt right behind him, started 14th, and he's up to that 5th spot now here as those guys run. That's probably the biggest battle we got going on right now on the racetrack, is 3rd through the 6th spot right now of Timmy Hill, and you can add Chase Cabry in the 7th spot there to that mix too, as they have pulled away quite nicely over Byron Daly and Parker Kligerman in that 8th and 9th spot now, just over about a 1.5 seconds almost right now as they run off of turn number 4. So all around the racetrack, we got battles all over the place. You got little groups of trucks everywhere, 2, 3 of them, 4 of them, 5. They're just different little groups everywhere, and that's pretty much what you get. Everything, once the green flag goes, things start settling down. You'll get these little groups of cars all over the racetrack here, and they're all battling for their own positions.
Look back here in the pack around the top 15, that 52, that Federated Auto Parts machine, Davey Scoble, he's been to the wall a couple times just trying to hold that outside lane, get out of the way of these guys, kind of run his own race and put it up into the wall. But it's Martinsville. It really shouldn't matter all that much, so he should be okay as he works the outside, trying to defend that position from the 36 of Bentley Glazer. But Andy, let's talk about one person, our points leader coming into the night in the 97, Alex Monteferrante. He's running in about 11th. That's if he can't run really well at Martinsville, that's a pretty good position to be in. Just salvage as many points as you can get. He picks up a couple more, it's going to be a great finish.
Yeah, it would be. Obviously, a top 10's ultimate goal in a race like this for a lot of these drivers. If you're not up there at the front with the opportunity to win, you want to get the maximum points you possibly can. And right now, for our points leader, Alex Monteferrante, 11th right now currently, and he's got a lot of work left to do to get back up to the 90 truck of Daniel Eberhardt for that 10th spot, as the lead has really closed now, as you can see as these tires start to wear out. That 56 struggling right now with some handling issues, and that's going to allow the 44 Logan Clampett to get right up to his back bumper. Now the question is, does he use that bumper again now to get the lead, or does he just wait for a mistake by the 56?
Well, if these guys didn't have any history, I think he'd wait for a mistake. But with the way we've seen these guys racing, I wouldn't put it past old Clamp Nation put the chrome horn to the 56.
Yeah, we will wait and see. He got close a couple times that last lap there. You can see him really close the gap on corner entry and through the center, but then really coming off the corner, that forward bite off the turns 2 and 4 gives the 56 the advantage right now for the race lead, and they continue to pull away from that 3rd spot of Justin Fuller. Schoenberg right behind him in the 55 as well. So These two right now, definitely the class of the field here at this race so far tonight, and they have been all night long. These two drivers have been the only ones that have led laps here tonight.
Yeah, it's just been a back and forth battle. I'm I'm actually very surprised that there's been two guys so evenly matched here at Martinsville. I don't know if I'm, surprised it's just these two guys or it's not more drivers. Martinsville, it's very hard to kind of get that rhythm down, but with a field like this, you'd expect a lot more guys up here. Closest battle right behind these guys is third, Justin Fuller in the 51. He's 2.5 seconds back, so it's a big lead for these guys. So they've got some room to just kind of battle it out and race side by side if they decide to.
Yeah, and too much side-by-side racing will obviously bring the rest of those guys a lot closer, so they'll lose a lot of time as far as their lap times go. They're starting to make their way through the lap traffic, and this time by here, we're going to complete lap number 100. It'll put 50 to go left here at Martinsville Speedway. We'll take one last quick break. We'll go nonstop as we set our sights on the end of this race right now, and we'll hold on for a second as they make contact again for the lead. 44 of Logan Clampin, little bump into turn number 1 on Dustin Lingert, and for a second there gets him a little loose and unable to capitalize on it is the 44, and this is getting really good here. So we'll go LSRTV nonstop so you don't miss a bit of the action here. You're watching the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series presented by Garrett Smithley Racing right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
Ready, aim, fire.
And we're back here live at Martinsville Speedway, the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series, and we're under caution for the third time here tonight. And it's only been 3 cautions on 100 laps. It's a pretty good Martinsville race when you talk of this place and the tight quarters racing that we see every time we come here. And we'll try to put the replay up, but we can't. Like Timmy Hill is the sound is what we're looking at here. Is the 4 truck having some issues out on the racetrack. We'll try to get the replay up for you on your screen as pit road's open. Leaders are heading back down. Could be the final time we'll see them on pit road for tonight. And Dustin Lingert, he's going to lead everyone down the pit lane, the 44 of Logan Clampett, right on his back bumper as they go down pit road. Even on pit road, these guys are going to duke it out.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Looking at the replay here, it looks like the 55 and the 71, they kind of surprised each other with the way they brake. Yeah, the 71 kind of dove it in and got hard on the brakes, or it looks like the 55 washed up the racetrack as Brian Schoenberg checked up the 71 on the 4. Timmy Hill, he just got ran in the back of by the 39 at Chase Cabre. He just, 39 had nowhere to go. All 4 of these guys just kind of stacked it up.
Yeah, we saw that battle off of pit road right there. Dustin Linger was able to lead everybody back out, but that 51, Justin Fuller, able to take a spot away from Logan Clampett. Not sure if that was maybe meant to be or not right there. Logan Clampett might have been doing that on purpose just to get that bottom lane. It shows you how important that bottom lane is to everybody here. And we get everybody slowed up here. It looks like a lot of trucks still out on the racetrack looking to get their lap back on a wave around.
Yeah, Andy, that's as soon as I heard 44, he lost out and was in third. I knew he let the 51 by so he can get down to the bottom of the racetrack. Whether it be he wants to be behind the 56 or he just wants to be on the bottom in general. Smart move, heads up move from the 44 Clampett.
That was a heads up move. I think we saw that a little bit earlier with the 4 of Timmy Hill also doing that as well. And see what happens as we get around. A lot of lap trucks looking to get the wave around here this time and get themselves back on the lead lap. A couple of them anyway. Trying to get some of them back here, and our leaders right now being mauled behind them. We'll look at our top 10 right now as they run across the start-finish line here. Should be Dustin Linger getting ready to bring the field back to a green flag. Justin Fuller will start second. Logan Clampett in that third spot. Fourth is Brian Schoenberg. Chase Cabry sits fifth. Sixth is Mitchell Hunt. Byron Daly seventh. Eighth to Daniel Eberhardt. Parker Kligerman ninth. And Tommy Ryan in that 99 from 18th starting spot. He'll restart in 10th. Pace car once again heads to the safety of pit road. The field slowly at 40 miles an hour works their way through 3 and 4, waiting for that go zone. There it is, green flag back in the air. Dustin Linger, pretty good jump. We got Clampett, pretty good jump as well on that bottom side. Looks like he'll be able to stick his nose in there, make that 51 work really hard for that second spot. He's got to clear him. What a move right there off of turn number 2. That'll give him that second spot as a whole field now checking up there in 3 and 4, and they'll race their way off of turn number 4 and the top 7 right now. Single file, that first side-by-side battle. That's a 60 of Byron Daly. Now Eberhardt to his outside. That is a battle for that 7th spot on the racetrack. They continue to run side-by-side. Eberhardt trying to pinch him down to the bottom there, trying to get the run with the fresh tires on the top side. It's not quite working as of yet. Parker Kligerman looking to the inside. Oh, we got trouble behind the 8 of Gilliland. He's around right in front of the 99 of Tommy Ryan and the 52 of Davey Scoville right there. So caution will be out now for the 4th time here tonight. We'll take a look at the replay, and just a product of running out of racing room off of turn number 4. Maybe a one truck getting loose there, but Adam Gilliland for the 2nd time tonight goes around. So for the 2nd time, Adam Gilliland goes around for the caution flag. 4th time of the night. Pit road is open. Looks like Clampett was going to fake everybody out. Maybe he almost faked himself out right there, but he's going to remain in that 3rd spot right now as we work under the caution flag. 116 laps complete right here as they cross the start finish line. It's going to give us 34 laps left to go in this one, and 34 laps goes by pretty quickly at Martinsville, especially this late in the run and this late in the game, I should say. And we should see things start to heat up here as cautions breed cautions. I don't think this will be our last one of the evening. Hopefully it is. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will be. We'll have to see. That 51 got a really good jump off of turn number 2. That last restart was able to pull down in front of that 44. See the 3 truck coming around the field right now. That's Stephen O'Rourke. He's going to get himself back on the lead lap. So we've had lots of green flag racing here, but we still have 29 trucks out of the 33 that took the grid. 29 still on the lead lap. That's pretty good, Gabe, seeing that we've had only 4 cautions here tonight.
Yeah, and only one car, 1 lap down. That's the 30th position, Paul Cooper in the 18. So these guys, whether it be wave rounds or just staying on the lead lap, pretty competitive field.
That absolutely is. We want to thank, obviously, for the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series, Garrett Smithley Racing, Proud sponsor of Garrett Smithley and the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevy Camaro, NASCAR Xfinity Series, and of course SegPay. For over 10 years, SegPay has been processing online payment transactions, merchants in all categories, with a specialization in helping retailers process credit card transactions. They are a leader in non-card or card-not-present transactions that have a strong relationship with acquiring banks and with credit card schemes. Learn more at segpay.com. SegPay, proud sponsor of the ASCORS Truck Series. Well, we're getting set to get this done. Running out of laps here for these drivers to, from the fifth on back there, to really make an opportunity for themselves to get up to the front. Track position has been key, and we've seen that all night long. That 56 leading the most laps so far here tonight as the field gets stacked up to get set to go under the green flag once again. When they get the green flag, we're only going to have 30 laps to go here tonight at Martinsville. This race has gone by pretty quick here. We're working on just 48 minutes of this into this race here so far, so it's gone pretty quick here. Pace car on pit road. We're going to get set to get back underway. The green flag will wave once again here at Martinsville, and that was a huge jump by the 44 of Logan Clampett. He's able to push that 56 right into turn number 1 right now as the battle for that second spot still going. A little bit of contact there with the 71 of Mitchell Hunt right there around that 5th spot right now. The 51, though, of Justin Fuller finally gets pushed way up the racetrack. He's going to lose a lot of spots right now. Up caution back on the speedway again for the 5 of Allen Elwood, bringing out their 5th caution of the night here tonight, and that's going to looks like he spun. Got a little help with that spin there off of the 20 machine of Chad Coleman there, and our 5th caution tonight. And like I said, it might not be our last either, the way we're going here tonight. 28 laps to go when they hit the line this next time by right now. And Dustin Linger continuing to lead. The problem for the 44 now, Logan Clampett, he's going to be on the outside. The last 2 restarts, he had the opportunity to start right behind Dustin Linger. This time, he's going to have to start to his outside, give the 51 maybe the advantage. Justin Fuller as they head to turn number 1. When they get the green flag once again, that'll be in a couple laps, though, as they work their way around. This late in the race, though, Gabe, I mean, how nervous are you going to be, maybe as the leader or maybe as one of these guys trying to chase him down?
Well, I think as the leader, we've seen them. They've run so hard during basically the entire race. I shouldn't see it change at all, especially the 44 and the 56. They've been hitting each other all night. The rest of the guys back in the pack have been pretty cordial, but I should expect to see that to change here in a couple laps.
Yeah, it absolutely could. Obviously, with these cautions, the laps tick away a lot quicker as well. Being under caution, you're not able to get any positions under the caution, so that makes every restart that much more important and that much more of an opportunity to get another spot or get yourself up towards the front for a possibility to win this thing here tonight. Getting closer, 26 laps left to go here tonight, and this is one thing, all that green flag racing at the beginning of the race, you had to know that at some point the gates were going to open for the caution flags to start flying, and what better time than at the end of the race to really change things up, throw curveballs in there, and see if we cannot get maybe a surprise guy to really make a charge up here at the front.
I think the only person I can really see upsetting these top 2 is either Justin Fuller or Brian Schoenberg. Schoenberg's, he's worked his way up, hadn't moved up since we talked about him earlier from the 12th position up to 4th, but Justin Fuller, he's been making that outside lane work, Andy. If he, the last few times he's got stuck up there. That's what I was going to say when you talked about the 44 Clampett being stuck up there. If he's got a good enough car and he can drive it, he's going to be able to hold his position and get a hole eventually, because at 51, he was able to do it the last few restarts. He just ran high the last time, and that allowed the 44 to get through.
Now we'll have to see what happens here as the pace car now ducks to pit road again. They cross the start-finish line. We're going to have 24 laps left to go here. Look at the 90 of Daniel Eberhardt up to 7th on the inside lane here as we get set to get back underway. Green flag is back in the air. Pretty good jump by the 44. He might have jumped out a little too early there. The 56 going to dive it right in there. Maybe a little contact. The 44 is going to lead him, though, off of turn number 2. New leader, Logan Clampett, now to the race lead.
Oh,
71.
71 on the grass. 90th, Everhard.
Oh!
Oh,
That was a hard hit. More wrecking going on. The 51 and the 71 of Mitchell Hunt. Wow. Couple wrecks right there.
oh my gosh. 60 of Byron Daly up and over almost there on the exit of 4, and hard hit on the inside wall for the 71 and the 51 there on the inside of the racetrack. Those guys had nothing to do with this wreck, and they end up wrecking. The 71, I was just, I pointed out, he rode up there on the curbs in 3 and 4. I guess that kind of set him up, at least at the 90, may have just checked up trying to avoid him, and that takes him, the 99, and the 60 out of the race.
Yeah, it does. Tough hit for a bunch of those guys right there. And Daniel Eberhard having a great first go at it here in the ASCORS Truck Series, and couldn't get it right there. It looked like he had it saved, but it looked like he did check up for that 71, because the 71 really, Mitchell Hunt really went in there real hot into turn number 3. You could see him really lock up the brakes, smoke him, and I really think that he was trying to avoid maybe that there was going to be a wreck right in front of him, and Parker Kligerman there in the 07 just ended up just touching him just right. But the problem was that truck took a violent right-hand turn there when you thought he had it saved, and ended up taking Byron Daly right out of it.
One Swan Racing truck left, and that's the 07 of Parker Kligerman back there, the teammate, the 60 of Byron Daly. So he's going to try and get it home for that stable between the two guys. Kind of hard to tell between those two guys. Cars look exactly the same, and the number fonts are white. But and that 07, except for the fact that they're different manufacturers, just got that pointed out. But Parker
Couldn't
Kligerman,
tell with all the damage on the front ends.
yeah, that 6th place truck, he has absolutely been destroyed throughout this race. Look at the back bumper; it's pushed in so much.
Yeah, it looks like he's backed into a telephone pole at
07.
some point.
I think you could fit the front end of a Gen 6 in that little hole right there.
Yeah, that's looks like backed it into a telephone pole. I love that one because that's exactly what it looks like. It's just amazing a little bump can really push it in like that. But looks like the field's going to get stacked up again. We'll be able to do it again. 20 to go, 19 as they cross the start-finish line here. So we're just under 20 laps to go. We're getting to that point. We see it lap after lap now. Everyone just tried everything they can to get that extra spot, and it's definitely gotten some people a little bit out of shape, and we got a lot of damage on a lot of race trucks right now here. So pace car looks to pit road again, and that's the only one good thing. The caution laps go pretty quick here, and we're able to get ready to get start. Logan Clampett, he gets control of the field now as they head to the restart zone. Green flag back in the air here. Looks like we got 18 laps left to go here at Martinsville. Look at it, 3rd place right now. The 55.
Oh, there goes the 39.
Oh!
He hangs on to it.
3 wide now for the 6th spot on the racetrack. Chase Cabry locked in the middle right there. Parker Kligerman, probably the biggest loser on that part, stuck on the outside of 3 wide. That's going to lose him a couple spots. Restarting that 6th spot. He's already down to 8th. Now Chase Cabry looks like he is having problems as well as he starts to fall back as he pushed up the racetrack here. And they're all fanned out on the back straightaway there going into turn number 3. But somehow they all funnel it back in, and they keep it straight right now off of turn number 4. That 52 truck looking pretty strong here in the late going in that 6th spot. He's got Timmy Hill on his back bumper. The problem is the top 3 have checked out.
Yeah, top 3, and it's not Justin Fuller up there. It's the 55 of Schoenberg. He's showing these guys he should have been up there this entire time. He just had a bad qualifying position. He's up there, Andy. He's to the back bumper, the 56, and right behind them, the 52, that Federated Auto Parts truck. Danny Scoville, he started in the 20th position. Great job from him so far.
Yeah, great job to get up here. Now we can see if he can keep it as he starts to pull away a little bit from Timmy Hill, who just got back around the 39 of Chase Cabry. And Kligerman now gets in the back of that 39 truck. And so the beating and banging is definitely not over yet. Top 3, though, They separated themselves. A pretty good battle for that second spot now is, look at Schoenberg looking to the inside of Lingert, and Lingert's going to shut the door there into turn number 3, but that 55 is looking strong here. He might need another restart, though, once he's able to get around Dustin Lingert for that second spot. It's going to be quite a bit to catch up to Logan Clampe. He's pulled out to about 7-8 truck length lead now as they work their way down the back straightaway, and this time by, we'll have 11 laps to go, or make it 12 laps to go when they cross the start-finish line right now. Timmy Hill now just made his way around the 52 of Davey Scoville, who just got a bumper. Whoa, we got trouble behind these guys. That's around the 10th spot right now. Looks like the 36 of Bentley Glazer's around, and the track is blocked in turn number 4.
Again, for about the third or fourth time tonight, Gillen and J.D. Laird are involved in this. You know, sometimes at a racetrack, you just cannot catch a break, and yeah, the whole track's blocked. Looks like 60 Byron Daly had to just come to a complete stop along with Eberhardt and a couple other guys.
That makes it tough, like we talked about earlier, when that track, when you get a wreck like that in the corners, it really just blocks, especially corner exit, when you're really trying to funnel in to get in there, and it makes it hard, because when you're in the beginning of the corner, like turn 3, you can't even see turn 4, so you have no idea what's going on. That's when you really need that spotter to be on the game there and let you know what's going on and let you know to back it down. But then you hope everybody behind you is slowing down, otherwise they're going to be running you over. So it's a real tough place to maneuver, especially when there's a wreck in front of you. But these guys will get one more chance at it at least here, as we have 10 laps to go to settle this one here in Martinsville. And what started off as just to look like a green flag start to finish kind of race, these guys, the tempers have started to flare, and these guys are really starting to bend the sheet metal on these race trucks right now, and nobody's going to obviously give up their track position at this point in the race and come down pit road for those tires, even though if they had 4 tires, it'd be a lot faster. But I'm going to keep an eye on that 55 here on the restart. He is going to be starting on that inside lane, so this might be exactly what Schoenberg needed to have an opportunity to win this one here, because Logan Clampe really just checked out from the rest of everybody there during that short little stint there that we had under the green flag. So we'll see what can happen, or what will happen here on this next restart. Right now we got 9 laps left to go here. Another truck getting a lap back. Looks like the 62 of John Wilco will get another lap back here. That'll put him 7 back from the race leader in the 29th spot. 27 trucks, though, still on the lead lap, and I honestly can't see one of them out here as I look through all these trucks that doesn't have some sort of dent or damage on it.
Yep, I just went through the entire field. The cleanest person on the racetrack right now is the 44 Clampett. He's got a little ding on the front bumper, and he's got a little ding on the left rear. Everybody else has some sort of damage. You know, there is not a car on the racetrack with a clean front bumper.
And no, nor should there be when you come to Martinsville Speedway, especially in these trucks. It's just so much fun to watch these trucks. They're so top heavy, these trucks are, compared to the Cup cars or the Xfinity cars. They're so top heavy, and it really makes for some fun racing, especially when you come to a short track like this at Martinsville. We talked about it, though, next week, or I shouldn't say next week. I believe there's a couple weeks off here for the trucks. I think they don't get back underway till the 23rd of March. So we got a couple weeks off for the truck series as far as that goes, but obviously heading back to a 1.5 mile raceway. It is the 23rd of March that we will get back underway here in the pace car. Gonna hit pit road here, and probably most likely could be the final time of the night as they work their way off turn 4. Green flag back in the air. Pretty good jump by that 44 Logan Clampett. 56 Olenger. He's going to hang out on that top side. He's going to leave that bottom side open, and contact made.
Sideways.
Schoenberg, he makes contact with the 56, and we got the big one on the back straightaway. Monteferrante looks like he flipped, and I mean, they're just piling him in here. Wow. Unbelievable.
Well, Andy, we may get a 1-lap shootout here.
We might possibly could. We'll see what happens. We flipped the truck at Martinsville, our producer just told us, which is pretty amazing. But I mean, look at the front runners now. Every time we do this, they change up right there to 56 of Dustin Lingard. We'll have a replay up on your screen right there. But just off of turn number 2, making contact. The 55 was looking to the inside, and they just flat out made contact. Ran out of race room. They tried to keep it going, and obviously you keep your foot in it to try to keep the guys straight as well. I think that's exactly what Brian Schoenberg was trying to do right there, and it ended up pushing him back up the racetrack actually, and that 56 right back up into the racing surface, right back into a whole pile of trucks, and they did not stop piling into each other. That was pretty amazing right there.
No, something else amazing. Look at the 4 Timmy Hill. He took a car to the door.
Yeah.
And so did the 55 of Schoenberg, and they're running second and third. They better count their lucky stars right now. That was a
I'll tell you what, that's a
monster hit
good rebound for that 4 truck, Timmy Hill. He's started 4th, but had some problems, fell back a little bit into the field, and he's been able to somehow survive and get himself in contention here at the end. The problem is, though, I think he might not have much tires left as far as wear on him, and got a whole lot of damage on that front end, both sides and in the front, and that truck's seen better days by far. But here at Martinsville, that's a pretty typical race truck you'll see right there. Going to be, I think that's it. I think we're going to end up under caution here. So we got 2 laps to go as they cross the start-finish line. It looks like Logan Clampett's going to pick up his first win of the season. So good job by that 44 truck getting to the front when he did and able to hang on to it. So Logan Clampett looking to take his first victory here in the ASCORS Truck Series, and pretty good job. So 3 races so far, Gabe, and 3 different winners. It's a pretty good start to the season.
Oh yeah, and 4 very deserving winners, and all very dominant wins. Go back to that 4 Timmy Hill. I expect to see Harry Hogg jump over the pit wall and tell him to hit the pace car, because he has hit everything else on this racetrack, and he still finished second.
Hey, that's what it's all about, Martinsville. Just being at the right place at the right time, and at the end of the race, it's the right time to be up front, and that 4 truck is where he needs to be. He'll get himself a solid second-place finish here tonight. But a crazy night. We're on the white flag here for Logan Clampett, looking for to receive the checker flag this time by and get his first win of the season. And right before the little break we have for a couple weeks until we head out to Kansas. So off of turn number 4, your race winner here at Martinsville Speedway, Logan Clampett. Clamp Nation takes home the checkered flag. It was kind of a wild race. I mean, the whole first half of the race game, all green flag action, just a lot of hard racing, but everybody staying cool. And then once that caution came out around that halfway point, it really just set the stage for the finish here tonight. But 44, Logan Clampett, able to get the job done, and he will find himself down in victory lane here tonight, and a pretty good job at that as well. We're going to take a quick break, though, and when we come back, we'll talk to our top 3 finishers. You've been watching the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing. Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway. We just concluded the Martinsville 150 for the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series, presented by Garrett Smithley Racing. And right now, we're going to take a look at our full field rundown and how they finished here tonight in race number 3 of 12. Logan Clampett coming home with the victory. Timmy Hill rebounded and finished in second place. Brian Schoenberg finished third. Fourth went to Davey Scoville. Bentley Glazer finishes fifth. Sixth went to Dustin Lingert. Doy Woods came home seventh. Eighth went to Tommy Ryan. J.D. Laird finished in the ninth spot, and rounding out the top 10 was the 66 of David Krikorian.
11th place, good finish. Stephen O'Rourke in that 3 truck. We saw him go a lap down early in the race. He ends up coming back for 11th, so good finish for him. Not a good finish, Chase Cabrey. He was up front for most of this race, ended up getting taken out in that 39 truck, finishes 12th. 13th goes to Leighton Sibyl. Paul Cooper goes into the 14th position. 15th goes to Parker Kligerman. And then his teammate Byron Daly in the 60 is going to finish 16th. 17th, Tyler Dalton. Alan Elwood finishes 18th. 19th, the last car on the lead lap, the 16 of Alan Cryer. Richard Beasley in the 10 truck will finish 10th, 1 lap down, or 20th, 1 lap down.
21st will be Rich Jetty. Adam Gilliland will finish 22nd. 23rd will go to E.J. O'Rourke. Alex Monteferrante will finish 24th. 25th is Daniel Eberhardt. 26th was Justin Weaver. Scott Mitten will come home 27th. 28th goes to Justin Fuller. John Wilco finishes 29th. And 30th was Chad Coleman.
31st goes to your Atlanta winner. Mitchell Hunt got caught up in a wreck in 31st position. 32nd, Lewis Calderon. 13th, Mason Baker will be your final driver to start this race. 33rd position, 109 laps down. Andy, we're going to get our post-race interview started with, and I believe you caught up with the 3rd place driver, Brian Schoenberg.
That's right. I am down here on pit road with our 3rd place finisher, and of course that is the 55 of Brian Schoenberg. Brian, kind of an interesting race here. Beginning part of it, first half of the race, clean and green for a lot of these drivers. We saw some beating and banging, but it stayed green. Everybody kept that thing straight. But once that caution came out just past the halfway point, it seemed like everybody was in a hurry.
It was really interesting, Andy. It was kind of like the tale of 2 races. I mean, when you look at it, the first half of the race, we basically ran the equivalent of pretty much 2 caution-free C-fixed races at Martinsville with about 3 times the size of the field that you'll get on the general service. So that was definitely something to hold your head high about. But then, I mean, at the end, you can't really expect anything too different. I mean, we've had that happen in league racing, general service racing for years and years and years to come. Or I should say years in the past and years to come. So it just kind of is what it is. I mean, you kind of expect it, but overall, I think it was a great race for a short track race at Martinsville with as many vehicles as we had running out there.
Yeah, it definitely was. And for yourself, starting in the 12th spot to make up a lot of ground and come home in the 3rd spot, that's got to be pretty exciting to be able to do that when track position's key at this place when it's so tough to pass.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that first run, I didn't go anywhere. I mean, let's back up first. I messed up my qualifying lap, so I ended up around 12th. And then I got up to about 9th. And then as the long run went on that first run of the race, the track started to rubber in. And I think I burned up my front tires, honestly, by locking up the brakes a bunch. And Mitchell Hunt got by me. Parker Kligerman got by me. And it was kind of a struggle. And then I was able to gain some track position on a couple of restarts. And we just never looked back from there. I really want to apologize to the 56 of Dustin Lingert. He dominated the race, led the most laps. He had pretty much, I think, the quickest truck himself and Clampett. I was kind of like a step behind them. And to be honest with you, I was more than content with finishing 3rd. It was a heck of a run. I'm only running part-time in this, only, you know, when I'm off and I can race. So it really hurts me at the end there that I kind of ruined his race. I'm glad he still finished 6th, but he's not too happy with me, and I don't really blame him. Right before we got the last yellow, I bumped him up the track one time, and I kind of just, you know, let him have 2nd there because I was content with 3rd, like I've said, and I'll take my incident point for that. We were exiting turn 2, and I just barely got into him, and I tried to straighten him back out. I kind of did, right? I mean, he kept going. He still got 6th.
That's actually what I said on the broadcast, too. I said you kept the foot in it, trying to keep him straight, but it looked like it somehow hooked him to the right, and he went up into the racetrack, and we ended up with the big one here at Martinsville.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I really did not mean to ruin his night there. I did not want to hit him at all. I was more than content with third, and it sucks I cost him easily, a second place finish there. So that one kind of hurts, and I mean, we don't live in. Oops, sorry, we don't live in a perfect world. So apologies again to him, but it was a heck of a run for us and my team, and I'm really happy with that run. I'm not very good here most of the time, so it feels good.
Yeah, we talk about it. This is one of those tracks you either love it or you hate it, and for a lot of guys, I think tonight they're going to turn the other way. If they loved it, they probably hate it now.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks you either get in your rhythm and figure it out or you never do, and I'm just kind of like halfway in between. I don't know if you saw this or not in the race, but I mean, on restarts, he kind of had to downshift a little bit to get some runs up off the corner and pass people and hold people off. That was working good for me on restarts, but yeah, it was a good one. Yeah.
It was exciting, obviously, and well, you got a third place finish here tonight, and a pretty good job for yourself. And sponsors, shout outs. Obviously, there's people behind the scenes that help you get it done.
Yeah, first off, I want to thank Garrett Smithley and Garrett Smithley Racing and SegPay for sponsoring this series. It's one heck of a series. I always have a thing for the trucks, and just having them on board with this series is great, and having the ASCORS Racing League back is good. And I just want to thank DJ Line as well for officiating this race. He's got such a good handle on it. I can just come in here as a driver and just race whenever I can in the series and have fun. So great job to him for officiating, and just thanks to all the members and everybody that came out tonight. Hopefully they had a decent time with this. I mean, I can't really explain to you how you could get a much better Martinsville race out there in a league. So if you find a way, let me know. But otherwise, just thanks for everyone for coming out tonight, and thank you guys as well, LSRTV. Once you guys went to 1080p there, I mean, it's freaking amazing to look at, and I enjoy listening to you, Andy, and Gabe. And I'm sure I'm going to go watch back the race after this. So thank you guys for being here too.
We appreciate it. Congratulations again, and maybe we'll see you in Kansas.
Maybe, you never know.
All right. Well, there you have it. Third place finisher here tonight. Brian Schoenberg coming home with that 55 truck, and now we'll send it down to Gabe. He's caught up with our second place finisher.
Yeah, down here on pit road, the 4-truck Timmy Hill. Timmy, you brought it back into the garage area, and, well, the fenders fell off, and I think the engine fell off. You had a race that can only be described in a Days of Thunder quote. You hit everything but the pace car, but you walk away with a second-place finish.
Yeah, well, it certainly seemed that way. I was pretty happy with everybody in the field had the race at the beginning of the race. Green flag for what seemed like an eternity. But after the pit stop, I guess I was too far right in my box. It cost me 2 spots. Went back to 5th and ended up getting in a scuffle with Adam, and just kind of put me back a little ways. And then ultimately, I was trying to be careful with everybody. This is Martinsville. We're trying to be courteous to each other still, and not just bulldoze each other out the way. But with that being said, I kind of got hit and spun and sent me all the way to the tail, and they kind of left me with one option. If I wanted to get back to the front, I'm gonna have to return the favor to a lot of these guys. And obviously, looking at my truck right now, it doesn't look too hot. I definitely did a lot of beating and banging to get back to where I was, and luckily in the last lap melee with the big accident that happened on the back straightaway, I got hit up into the fence, but luckily kept it straight to hang on to that second place finish.
Yeah, Timmy, I think that 4-truck's going to end up in Dale Jr.'s front yard. I think that's the only place for it right now. There's no recovering it, but we saw in the first 50 laps of the race, you kind of hung back there in the top 4 right behind Gilliland, Clampett, and you kind of just bided your time, and you said you got into the 8 truck. You were kind of behind these guys when the 56 and the 44 got together. What was your opinion on that and the retaliation back and forth?
It was definitely entertaining to watch. Those guys were doing a good job, even though they were getting into each other. They were hanging on to the trucks, really racing hard, and even though it looked kind of violent, it was still pretty clean. So it was entertaining to watch. Like you said, in the first run, I was just riding forward, saving my tires. Was able to make the pass on the 56 with third before that first caution flew. I'm normally pretty good here at Martinsville. It's one of my favorite tracks. Short track racing is super fun, especially here in the trucks. I feel like we had a truck that could win the race. Never really got to show it. And since the halfway point on the race, I was just trying to fight for track position and never could get back up to the front with all the caution that happened late in the race.
Well, Timmy, you got hit there on the basically last green flag lap, but you come home with a second place finish. Congratulations. Any sponsors on that truck you need to thank?
Yeah, I just run my website on the truck. I normally keep up with all my real racing updates on my website. So if anybody's looking to keep up with my racing, feel free to visit my website, timmyhill.com. I missed the first two races here in the ASCORS League. I was actually in Daytona for the first race, and then last week was my birthday, so I couldn't run the first two races. But second in my first race in this league is pretty fun. Hopefully, I can get some more good finishes here. But most of all, I joined this league just for the fun of it, and so far it's been pretty fun.
Yeah, it's kind of cool looking the field at Daytona and just looking at all the drivers. You kind of just have to count how many iRacers are in it. I mean, you had Truex, you had you, and Klickerman. It's pretty cool. You know, you guys tear it up on the racetrack, and you come on the sim and tear it up here. Timmy, congratulations on your second place finish.
Certainly, yeah. Thank you guys for the broadcast, and I appreciate it. Have a good night.
All right, Andy, I'm done here on pit road. You've got one more duty, and that's talking to the president of Clamp Nation. You've caught up with our winner.
That's right. I am down here in Victory Lane, and first win of the season, second start of the season for Logan Clampett, and you come home victorious here at Martinsville. It was a hard-fought battle, especially with you and Dustin Langert there for the first half of the race there. You guys putting the bumper to each other quite a bit, but you end up coming home with the victory here tonight. Walk us through your race.
It was a really fun race there, the first half, and then it was just kind of cautions there towards the end. I'm not sure why. It was definitely bumper to bumper traffic the whole race, but I survived and got out with the win. Really fun race.
That it was. Talk about a little bit of the beating and banging you were going there with Dustin Langert going for that race lead. It seemed at the first part of the race you kind of just had to follow him. It's so tough to pass at this track, and it's one of those, you either got to wait for the guy to make a mistake or you got to force him into a mistake. And that's pretty much, especially when you're up in the front of the pack like that, when everybody's running such similar lap times, lap after lap, it makes it real tough to really get around these guys. Is that something basically in the back burners, try to give a bump and run, try to get these guys out of shape, maybe put them off their rhythm in the race just to try to get around them?
Yeah, he usually wants to do that sometimes, or just sit behind them and let them screw up. But I sat behind Dustin there plenty of time and decided to use the bumper. Not like, serious enough to turn them or anything, but you usually have to move them out of the way to get past them or on a restart. The outside lane was pretty decent actually. It was pretty good. So definitely use the outside lane that whole. Well, not the whole race, but a lot of the race there on the restarts, and he got me back there one of those times, but it's nothing, big serious.
Yeah, it's a product of short track racing, exactly what you're going to see when you come to Martinsville. Well, you made two starts. Obviously, it wasn't the start you wanted in the first race of the season at Daytona, but you were able to get a big victory here at Martinsville, and we get a couple weeks off, it looks like, and before we head to Kansas. Size up Kansas, another mile and a half on the schedule.
Usually just running the top side, it's difficult to get around. You'll have to, I don't know, it's either save tires, try and get around the guy, but usually it's just single file around the top lane, so that'll be kind of difficult. Just see who's the fastest one.
Again, track position will probably be key at that race as well. Just like it was here tonight, you were able to start up towards the front. You stayed up there all race long. You're able to come home with the victory. Sponsors, shout-outs, there's people behind the scenes. Who helps you get it done?
Just High Performance Motorsports with my teammate Dustin Langert there. He usually is the engineer, man in charge. Not the whole team, but usually just the engineer, and he builds really great setups for our team during the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, and hope to get back at Texas after my suspension, so that'll be lots of fun, and especially Sim Racing Authority. They're a big help. Great league. Go join them.
Well, there you have it. Congratulations again, Logan, on your first win of the season. We look forward to seeing you in Kansas.
Thank you.
There you have it. Our winner here tonight at Martinsville, a pretty good win, a nice win, a good, basically call it a start to the season after Daytona. That's really where the season starts. He was unable to make the Atlanta race, so tonight was basically the start to his season, and he's able to come home with the victory. And he talked about, Gabe, how hard it is to pass here and how difficult he rode around long enough, and he just finally said, you know what, I've had it. I'm going to give him a bump, get him out of the way. I'm going to take over the race lead. He did just that, and at the same time, when Dustin Langer went back and got the retaliation or the bump back to get the race lead, he wasn't upset about it at all. I mean, it's a product of what you get when you come to Martinsville.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Clampett, he really wasn't. Yeah, really. I doubt he would have said the same thing if he was backed into the fence. And of course, that matter of opinion, really. But yeah,
it's easy to say when you're in victory lane, right?
Yeah, but yeah, great win from him. But yeah, these guys raced hard. Not a clean car in the house. Pretty clean racing there for the first 50 laps. It was kind of unfurled there in the last 50, but it was still good, clean race, good hard racing, good clean racing, and these guys got it done. It was a good race for Martinsville.
Yeah, it absolutely was a great start to it. A lot of green flag racing, and then, of course, we get all the cautions when everybody's really trying to force the issue in that second half of the race to get every possible position we want. It looks like we'll have a little shakeup of the points quite a bit. We had some of the guys towards the top of the heap in the standings have some issues here tonight, and then some other guys having some really good nights. So obviously it's going to shake everything up here as we move on. A couple weeks off, it looks like. Back on March 23rd, we get back to racing here in the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series, and that's at Kansas Speedway right here at 9 p.m. on March the 23rd right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. Final thoughts, though, Gabe, as we leave Martinsville and we head back to another 1.5 mile track?
I think these guys, they kind of need the 2 weeks off just to kind of get reacclimated to a racetrack where you don't have to use the bumper.
You're absolutely right. Plus, we got a build, of course, coming out next week, which is really going to throw things for a loop here for some of the who knows what else is going to come through today. I know we got a different downforce package coming for the Cup cars, but I'm sure there's obviously probably an update for the trucks as well, maybe a tire wear thing, or who knows what it'll be, but we'll obviously find that out next week. But we'll have a couple weeks. Yeah, and there still isn't green, white checkers, so we won't go into that yet. Someday before I die. Before I die, we'll get them.
We can't go through a broadcast without mentioning it, can we?
Well, you had to get me going on that. But anyway, we'll leave it at that. We finished a great one here tonight, Martinsville 150 here at a great racetrack, one of the historic icon type of racetracks here in the NASCAR world. So pretty cool that we get to do it right here on the sim as well. And, of course, one more time before we go, I'd like to thank all the partners who helped get this done week in and week out. Garrett Smithley Racing, the proud sponsor of Garrett Smithley and the number 0, JD Motorsports, Chevy Camaro, and the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And, of course, SegPay. For 10 years, SegPay has been processing online payment transactions for merchants in all categories with a specialization in helping retailers process credit card transactions. They are a leader in card-not-present transactions and have strong relationships with acquiring banks and with credit card schemes. Learn more at segpay.com. SegPay, the proud sponsor of the ASCORS Truck Series. For more information on the ASCORS Racing League, visit them at ascorsracing.com. I want to thank the league administrator, Brian Schoenberg, and the series director, DJ Lyon. Thank everybody for that. And, of course, stay tuned and stay up to date with everything on LSRTV at livesimracing.com and, of course, at facebook.com/livesimracingtv. And don't forget to tune in Saturday night. USR Truck Series gets underway for its second race of the season, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. Well, Gabe, that's it. We've had it. I want to congratulate again Logan Clampett on the victory here at Martinsville Speedway. And I want to thank the viewers in behalf of everyone here at LSRTV. And, of course, myself, Andy Kessler, and Gabriel Wood joining me tonight in the booth. And, of course, our lovely and beautiful and talented producer, Cisco Scaramuza.
Scaramuza.
We want to thank you all for joining us here at Martinsville Speedway, and we can't wait to see you next time right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.